Today, we're going to be building the last component to this wrap-around garage storage system. I'm Rachel Barros, and you're watching Gearhead Diva. We've been doing a lot of electronics projects lately, but we're kind of going back to creative woodworking and some decor, and we're gonna see how this goes. Right here is the door that I put together, and we're gonna take a look at the skeleton here if I flip it over. The secret as to how this thing is put together. And you can see that it's done just with basic pocket hole screws. And I know what some of you woodworkers, like the real woodworkers, are like, what? Pocket hole screws? Boo! Click away! But hold on. If you've never done a woodworking project, it's the easiest technique to learn. It's the first way I started putting different projects together. And what I found was that if you learn no other way to put together a joint, well, you can build a ton of things. All kinds of furniture for your house, storage systems, and some furniture that looks, well, darn well pretty professional. And the frame is made from common wood. You can just find this at your local hardware. Some of you guys are gonna recognize this from previous streams. And this is just taking wood and adding a metal effect. So I went ahead and did this because we spent a lot of time on that stream. We spent a lot of time on how to add these cool little rivets here. And just to, kind of go over it, it's basically spray painted black, spray painted silver, and my favorite silver to use is the hammered silver, because what you get when you sand it down are these weird black little splotches right here. And that's because the hammered paint, when you sand it down, gets all gummified. It just gummies up on you and creates those cool effects. And then after that, we just dry brush some black, some brown, and then some red oxide. You can see some wormholes, an awful lot of scratches going up and down, because I wanted these doors to look old, like they had been used and abused. And, with common wood, you don't always get the straightest door. The best thing to do is add a backing panel to this, but I decided to get a little bit more creative, and give it structure some other ways. All right, so now I got this in view. See, things are already beginning to rock and roll over there. So if you see me needing to crawl underneath the workbench, you know what's going on. So I think this is the area where we're gonna burlap and do a lot of a burlappery. This is something that you can find at any hardware store. So I kind of pre-cut this because it can be a little bit much to handle. So let's see if I kind of guesstimated the correct amount that I would need. As you can see, I'm now becoming part of the project. And I've become one now. I am Borg. And then let's try and get the other. I've freed myself from the Farmhouse Borg. You want to love the projects that you're working on, but sometimes they want to love you back, and not always in the best ways. So, burlap. Here, again, any hardware store. And what I found is that a single layer is pretty see-through. I mean, the whole point of this is to kind of like hide my mess, and well, just a single layer isn't gonna do it. So what I did here is fold it over and use 2 layers. Before I do all this, I'm gonna have to paint my little letter right here. So I started with the 4, the door next to it is 3. And guys, chime in the comments. What other material should I use? I do have 2 more sets of doors. I can do different configurations of this. I can do totally different materials. Heck, as long as it's not like really expensive $20,000, make your door out of lasers, lightsabers, so when you try and open the door, it cuts your whole arm off or something like that. That's a bit much. I'm going to go ahead and paint on top of the project. There is no disaster that can happen right now, So I think I'm going to put my number 3, and again, I'm kind of guesstimating here. When we attach the burlap, it's very tough to get the numbers to just stay where you painted them. They're going to get stretched out a little bit. I'm going to press this down, and the best I can, just kind of splotch it. And the idea here is, well, this burlap is old. It doesn't have to be a perfect number 3. I mean, we want it to look kind of distressed, like the number's been wearing out. And the reveal! Oh All right, guys, that actually looks pretty good. Around it now looks a little too new, and I think we need to distress the area, making it look like perhaps there's some dirt on the sides. We'll make a little halo around our 3. But you can see that it's already starting to look kind of old. I really do like the burlap. It really adds that look. It adds a... Oh, I messed up. That's a little much. I get to talking and I'm not paying attention, so... Let's try and get rid of that, right? I think so far we have kind of a good aged look going on here. All right, probably the toughest thing now is to get this door in a position where we can start attaching, and it's already grabbing onto me again, where we can start attaching this in a way that's gonna make sense. I'm just bending it around the edge to create the sharpest possible edge here that I can. And I'm going to be using some of these frame pieces here. Now, you might be asking, like, wow, I mean, it's all nicely stained. You went all out for some of this backing. No, you guys know me better than that. These are actually bits from the shelves that I used on these units. And I trimmed back the shelves just to give me a little more wiggle room to be able to pivot them into place. So I was left with these random strips that I figured would be good for something one day. And I'm gonna start at this edge up here. Fingers. So we got one holding strip, I guess, one support strip down, and we're gonna put in another. That's not too bad, guys. Listen, I'm pretty proud. It's not like all the way over here or something like that, which is typical. All right, guys, the big reveal. I'm already looking, my 3 looks a little stretched out, but we'll see. Well, the 3 actually looks pretty good. So we're gonna move on from this burlappery here, and we're gonna work on this peekaboo area right now, which is not going to hide any mess. And for that, we're going to put in our panel. And I went ahead and aged mine, and there's a variety of different ways that you can do this. But my go-to method for creating rust effect on panels is muriatic acid. It is rather nasty, but it gets the job done fast. But you can see that this looks even more weathered, and had I let it out for more days, we would have gotten authentic rust, you know, all over this. But we don't got that kind of time. We want to get the doors up and start hiding some of this mess, right? So I'm going to show you how I painted real basic rust patterns, very simple with just a few different colors. I'm just going to use more dry brushing. So I'm just wiping a lot of that white off my brush. And I'm gonna start here and just kind of lightly drag the brush. You see, you start to get a little bit of that white corrosion. And I'm gonna move beyond my piece here, or at least hold it up a little bit so I don't tempt fate, you know, too much here. And then I'm gonna drag that down the spine, the raised spine of our piece, because if you think the valleys, that's usually where water accumulates, especially if you have these pieces laying down on the ground and it rains, the water tends to pool here. So we're gonna use a lot of our browns and a lot of our rust, kind of where these markings already are. We're gonna use them as a guide. This is just burnt umber. And I'm gonna use that in these valleys here and just kind of dab in the valleys. And then use your finger to kind of smudge it a little bit, and it makes it look a little more realistic. And this is something that we just kind of build up over time. Rust is always happy to form. We're the ones that are not too happy to receive it. We're always like, go away. It's like that visitor that you don't want, especially when it's underneath your door jamb on your car. That's the worst kind of rust. And then for our final touch, I'm gonna add red oxide. And red oxide is really what gives rust its color. And this I like to use very sparingly, just in the most areas that I think need to show rust. So I'm just gonna dab and then use my fingers to kind of undab what I've done. I don't like to brown it too much because we have an awful lot of brown going on this project. So we don't need every little bit of it to be brown, but this is what we kind of ended up with. Kind of splotchy, kind of irregular, which is what you want with your rust. In order to attach it, this is the idea I came up with. And if you guys have a better idea, well, I got more doors and I can certainly use your ideas. So the idea I came up with, which is not pretty, I'm gonna admit it's not pretty, but it works. Remember, these doors aren't going to be outside. They're not going to receive a ton of abuse. So we just need something to anchor this down. So I'm thinking this is just 1/4-inch plywood that is left over from our floating shelves project. And I thought about just, you know what? Why not attaching a piece here and attaching a piece there? So that way when we flip the door over, I have a place to screw this into. Let's try and attach this, and my idea is just using a bit and using these little alleys right here, these recessed portions. I'm going to try and eyeball to match it up as much as possible. We have our nice panel, and it's anchored enough in place where you can use the door without fear of this flying off at you. Guys, we did it. Thank you so much for helping me out with this project. You have given me amazing suggestions that I'm going to incorporate onto my future doors. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And plans for the doors, these cabinets, and for all of our projects are available to Wrench Army members. But for those of you that have joined me, non-Wrench Army, I equally appreciate your eyeballs and your fun comments and your attention to these projects and just participating because we all learn together, and I love all of your suggestions. I'm Rachel de Barros, and you have been watching Gearhead Diva.